Hey, what is going on YouTube? Aaron here. Merry Christmas, everybody. But of course, it wouldn't be a true Wargaming Christmas if there wasn't another way for you to spend your doubloons. And that's right, guys. Wargaming pulled a fast one on us, and they released the Borodino as a new rental ship. This Stellinium, this epic piece of Stellinium battleship is now available for rent for 1,000 doubloons. You get it for 7 days. But here we are, the brief overview: long reach, superior AP pen, and superior AP damage. And here she is. What a beautiful looking ship. We don't have any gameplay for you guys today. I'm still, counting all my gifts and presents. Of course, I hope everyone had a fantastic holiday. But we're going to go ahead and look at the stats for her and then take you guys to the PC Wiki for a little bit, deeper dive into it. You guys saw the health, 64,200, but the main selling point of the ship is going to be the guns. 2x3, 406mm, absolute stellinium laser beams. Reload time is 28 seconds, as well as a 30-second, 180-degree turn time. Max AP shell damage, 13,500, with a max HE shell damage of 5,800 and a 40% chance of fire. AA defense is mediocre. It's Russian, so you don't get the best, but you do have good short and medium range AA, but the long range is honestly what you want because that kind of stops the planes, obviously, at long range. Maneuverability is pretty bad there with a very large turning circle. Let's go and look at the armor. You may see that 25mm front plate and kind of think, wow, that's not really that great. Well, it's not terrible. Of course, you can get overmatched by 15s and above, but that very strong icebreaker there, that 50mm icebreaker, is going to protect you from a lot, and especially in terms of the Citadel. Unless you get a really great, shot placed directly through that top bow, and even then you can kind of see that purple down there, which is the front plate of the Citadel, and we actually go over that in the PC Wiki. You are rather protected, so a very chunky stellinium type ship. Now, as you can see, however, the Citadel is absolutely massive. Also, just a side note, the barbettes and the turrets do not count as Citadels. I confirmed that with Wargaming, so I saw that on the Facebook page, but those do not count as Citadel hits. Now, you can actually disable a turret by hitting the barbette, as my understanding, but the Citadel of this ship is absolutely massive, and you are not protected. It actually has, as you can see there, a little bit of a rear cheek, so stern tanking is definitely not going to be your friend. But of course, with the guns located in the front, why would you stern tank anyway? On top of having some pretty chunky armor, you get some decent heals, as well as a secondary consumable, and a pretty gnarly radar. This radar gives you an 11.7 kilometer range, as you can see here, with a 30-second duration. Now, of course, you only have 6 guns and with a battleship reload, so you could really only get potentially 2 shots away. But you couple that with a division mate or, some teammates with half of a brain, and that is a pretty effective and scary radar. So destroyer players, be wary. Even, cruisers hiding in smoke, sometimes you don't expect that long-range radar. But here she is, of course, available in the store, like we mentioned, for 1,000 doubloons. And let's go ahead and give it to Aaron on the PC Wiki. I'll see you guys at the end of the video. I'm out. Peace. All right, guys, here we are on the PC Wiki. Now, of course, we just saw the in-game stats for the rental form in Legends, and they will most likely not differ too much from that, although we have seen some buffs from the rental phase, so keep that in mind. But the Borodino was a Soviet special premium Tier 8 battleship. Of course, it'll be Tier 7 in our game unless something drastically changes. But while designing Project 82 Heavy Cruiser, the Ministry of Shipbuilding Industry of the USSR ordered drafts of small battleship, a ship equipped with 1 to 2 turrets housing main and medium caliber guns and enhanced bow armor. In 1951 to 52, 9 preliminary draft projects were prepared. One of the projects was armed with 2 triple turrets with 406mm guns and was recommended for further development. After Comrade Stalin's death, the construction of the heavy artillery ships was no longer relevant, and the project was not completed. Borodino was first released, yeah. So, as you can see here, it actually changed a little bit in terms of the reload. I think it's a little bit longer on PC, but I'm guessing with their commanders and different traits, you can get that down as well. But also with our commanders, and I believe I'm already losing, I think it was 28 seconds in the rental form, but with our commanders, you could probably get that down even more. 64,200, the exact same health. I think the propulsion was the same as well. Secondaries, PC always gets a little bit longer secondary ranges as well as main battery ranges. So don't expect that much. I think it was 17 without any commanders, and that's because of course Legends, they want us to have quick, smaller games, which is fine, but it just that is part of the problem is their interpretation of what they want the game to be instead of what World of Warships Legends is, or World of Warships really. But PC has a good dynamic of the spawns and everything. They just ruined it with carriers and subs. So here's a little bit more about this, but we're just kind of skip over that and kind of read the pros and cons. Massive 400 millimeter traverse bulkhead, and that was what we were saying in the armor viewer, that 400 millimeter front plate there. So for bout in kiting or tanking, 50 millimeter deck, which can shatter a lot of HE. That's why that's important. And 100 to 120 millimeter citadel roof. So you are rather protected at range from plunging fire up to a certain extent, of course. Waterline belts extend both fore and aft, so you can kind of get that slightly angled protection. Although with only 2 turrets, there's no reason to really show broadside whatsoever. So you just want to make sure you are very, very close to straight on bow tanking. Although you do have that 25 millimeter front plate, which we know can be overmatched by 15s and above. So yeah, I've got to double check my math on that one. But very low profile superstructure, so not that much HE spam. Combined with that 50 millimeter plating, you can probably protect yourself pretty well from the spam. Quick turret traverse and a good main battery performance with less dispersion, and that's a good thing. That means your grouping, your dispersion circle is smaller, higher sigma, and that is your grouping, your chance to group, which is what you want, and more range than Lenin. So leave it to Wargaming to give everybody the Lenin in the Christmas crates, and then of course release another ship that's just potentially better. But and the good mid and short range AA, which is, you really want the long range, but yeah, anyway, has access to surveillance radar with good range and duration. Is it the same on PC? We just saw on Legends it'll be 17.3, 11.7, sorry, with a 30-second duration, which is pretty cracked. This ship might be the top picked for competitive battles with that long range. I mean, that's just a crazy radar. Now, you will have to get in close, and you kind of risk getting your broadside exposed. But yeah, that is a pretty crazy radar. Cons, only 25 millimeter bow and stern plating, which we talked about. Battle cruiser level side protection over a citadel well above the waterline. So again, just as we were mentioning, if somebody gets your broadside, even with I'd say 203s up close, but 305s and battleship caliber guns, and they get your broadside, you're going to be a meme. So welcome to PG Rapids or World Warships Legends memes videos. Another one of the cons is only 6 main rifles and 2 turrets. So if you get one of those knocked, good luck. But regardless, you still only have 6 guns, the Champagne and the Georgia. You join the ranks of those 2 ships where they are very powerful guns, but you only have 6 of them. So only 4 180 millimeter secondaries in the 2 turrets aft. So those back 2 guns we saw are secondaries. Very long ship with an appropriately large turning radius. I think ours was 1,030 meters, as well as poor concealment. So it looks like a pretty good ship, but of course it has its balancing factors. And of course, the battleship mains are still going to cry about the HE spam. Although this one should be pretty protected, from the HE spam with its armor as well as its minimal superstructure. So there's 2 things to HE spam. One is overall penetration, and that is why the Weimar and the Worcester almost are a little bit broken in terms of span right now. But you get that HE penetration. So not only do you have the damage that the shell is doing to the armor, which of course the Borodino will be protected from a majority of those shells, but on top of that you have the fire damage that can ensue if they catch a fire. But that is potentially why that stronger deck, that 50 millimeter deck is notable for the Russians, but as well as every battleship. The French are very susceptible to 203 spam because of that 32 that they're kind of covered in. But anyway, that is the Borodino. We will be getting, of course, a bunch of games today. I hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas. I sure did. But yeah, that's it. Hope you guys had a great holiday season. If you don't celebrate Christmas, but we will, like we said, get in a few games in that and be prepared for that true first look video. But in the meantime, you guys can enjoy this kind of pre first look, I guess. But have a great rest of your day. Hey, run out. Peace.